have a lot of moments where I roll back in my office to this very spot and I just look at everything and I look at my shelves and I'm like, I wrote those. I wrote all of those books. Life can be such a trip sometimes. Welcome back to my channel and happy Monday! I'm wearing my Word Up London cut off, I don't even know what this is, cut off sweatshirt thing. I got this so long ago. I haven't worn it in forever. It's one of my favorite things that I own. And it's rainy and dreary here in Texas. So let's hope that the lighting stays consistent throughout this video. Today, we are going to be talking about how to fall back in love with your life, back in love with writing, your passions, your creative projects, your dreams, your goals, whatever, just how to fall back in love with your life. In my 31 years on this planet, I have come to learn that there is a honeymoon phase for everything. Everything. The honeymoon phase is not just for relationships, it is for everything. It is for your health goals and for your fashion or shopping goals, for your home goals, your creative projects, your dreams. There's a honeymoon phase for all of these things. So how do we keep that spark alive? How do we keep the dream at the forefront? How do we stay excited about it, keep that momentum going, maybe when things aren't looking so great, or we're struggling a little bit, or we're just not feeling like working on anything, we're unmotivated, or maybe we just like hate everything right now. So I definitely had some months like that last year where I just hated everything. So what do we do? What can we do to fall back in love with our lives? So here's what I've got for you today. I have 3 tips to help you fall back in love with your life in general. And then I have another 3 tips that are more for the creatives out there, specifically the writers. If you feel like you've just kind of fallen out of love with writing, maybe there's a manuscript or a certain project that you're working on that you're just not, you don't know what happened. It was like the love of your life. You love this project and it's just, you're not really in love with it anymore. Like that spark has faded. So what can we do in terms of your writing and also in general in terms of your life to get that spark back? Someone just did a very slow drive by my house, which is always a little bit off-putting. Some of us may not want to hear this, but it is up to us to keep things new and exciting and fresh. I know we already have so many responsibilities as adults and we're just trying to make it through the day and not die, basically. And now you're like, oh, and now I have to keep things fresh and new and exciting. Well, yeah, because it's your life. And if you find that you're feeling stagnant or things are really dull or you're just bored or you're kind of hating everything, you're becoming more of that apathetic person, we need to turn that train around real fast because you are heading in the wrong direction. So let's talk about 3 ways that you can fall in love with your life again. Number 1, take the day off. Seriously, the whole day, not just a half day, not just a couple of hours, take the entire day off. I don't care if it is during the week or if it is over the weekend, pick an entire day, take it off. No responsibilities, no social media, no looking at your bills. Don't make a schedule or a plan. Do not do anything that you don't want to do. You are taking the entire day off. I recently did this on Valentine's Day, which was a Friday. It was perfect because it's a day of love and for me, self-love. So I figured that why not just take the whole day off? Why focus on on anything that doesn't bring me joy, that doesn't make me feel loved and appreciated and supported and encouraged and uplifted in this world? Why focus on any of that? Why not just take one day to say, nope, screw all that noise, not dealing with it, and just focus on me and what I really want to do? And every 30 minutes, maybe an hour or so throughout that day, I asked myself, what do I feel like doing? Not what should I be doing, or not what is the responsible thing to go do. What do I feel like doing? And whatever impulse, whatever thought popped into my head, I went and did that. No second thoughts. I was just like, I'm gonna do it. I went to the library that day. I walked around the park. I sat on a really nice bench and looked out over the lake and finished listening to an audiobook and did a lot of journaling and reflection. I also ended up at a trampoline park, which was so much fun. I feel like I let my inner child out, finally came out to play. And then I soaked in an Epsom salt bubble bath. I gave myself mani-pedi and did like face masks and all that, and read well into the evening. I didn't do anything that I didn't want to do. And honestly, I fell back in love with just being in the moment. I fell back in love with my life during that entire day off. I don't think we realize how much the obligations and the responsibilities, how much all of that weighs on us. It can feel like such a burden sometimes. And the world is not going to fall apart if you take a day off. I promise you, your business is not going to fall apart. Your family is not going to fall apart. Your friendships, none of it's going to fall apart. None of it is going to fall apart if you take a day off. If anything, you need to take more days off. That is what I've come to realize. Number 2 is to take something off your plate, but here's the kicker. Do not schedule anything during that time. Do not pick up another obligation to fill in that blank space that you've suddenly just created. Use that new time slot for a hobby, something that is fun for you, or just for relaxation, just to go sit outside and read a book, or swing in the hammock, or just literally sit and stare at the wall. That's fine. Whatever it is you want to do with that time, do whatever you want, do or be. It's totally up to you. Just don't fill it up with another obligation, something that you need to go do or feel like you have to go do. That's not the point of taking things off your plate. We don't take things off our plate to then just pile more stuff on. That defeats the purpose. Once you start taking things off your plate, you get your power back because you get your time back. And time is power. When you have more time, you can do the things that you really want to do and do the things that matter to you. Honestly, half the stuff you're doing, half of your schedule, and I can honestly say this because I looked at my own schedule and I was like, half of this stuff I don't even need to be doing. It is not even necessary. Half of the stuff on your schedule is not necessary. It's just an expectation you've placed on a pedestal. Woo! So take it off the pedestal. Take it off the pedestal. See what happens. My third tip for falling back in love with your life is to make feeling good a priority. Actually, make it the priority. Before I'm about to do anything, I ask myself if I feel good about it, if it's something I'm excited to do. It doesn't necessarily have to be fun, it's just, do I feel good about what it is I'm about to do? And I know there are some responsibilities and obligations that maybe aren't that fun, like getting your taxes together to file them, or maybe paying your bills, but there are ways to make aspects of the process a little bit more fun and a little bit more enjoyable. Like for filing my taxes and paying my bills, now I have specific candles that I light when I'm about to do it. I set an intention for that session to be really positive and for me to show and express appreciation and gratitude for what this money has allowed me to have, for the things that have come into my life, and expressing that gratitude as I am paying for those bills or as I'm filing my taxes. I also play some French music in the background because it makes me feel really relaxed and calm, and also a little bit bougie. Like I imagine myself being in some cafe in Paris and not sitting there, you know, with my spreadsheet looking at my bills and my finances. So taking yourself somewhere else in your mind it's not like, I wouldn't say it's a form of escapism, although maybe it kind of is, but it's like you're still doing the task that you don't really want to do, but you're just making it more fun and more enjoyable. And now I actually look forward to it because I'm like, ooh, I get to smell this candle, I get to listen to this music, I get to just be, I don't know, be all bougie, and it's fun. So if something that you're doing on a daily basis or a weekly basis or even a monthly basis, if it's something that does not feel good, ask yourself what about it doesn't feel good? What aspects don't feel good to you? And see if you can just make some slight adjustments like I did with, you know, my finances and paying my bills and my taxes. Or if you need to do a major overhaul, just remember that clarity on what doesn't make you feel good gives you direction so you can start doing things that do feel good. Okay, so what about for writing? What about for your creative projects that you've just kind of fallen out of love with? Now, I know this first tip might be a little bit controversial, but it's something that's worked for me, so I'm just going to share it. And that is to start a new project. And even better if it is a passion project. When you have a new project and it's more of a passion project, it's for funsies. And so you're not thinking about deadlines and getting ready to publish it. And you take off the pressure and expectation as you're writing it because it's just for fun. When you have no intention of querying that manuscript or publishing it or really having anyone else read it or have any other eyes on it, you fall back in love with the process of writing because again, there's no pressure and there's no expectation. But when you finish it, don't be surprised if you're like, dang, this is actually really good. Like, this is something I want to be out into the world. It happens more often than you think. My second tip is to read. Either read your work in progress, what you've written so far, or go pick up your favorite book. It was when I fell in love with reading that I knew I wanted to become a writer. And so often we forget to read. Like, we get so worked up and busy with our manuscripts and our works in progress that we can forget to actually sit down and read, to do the thing that made us excited to be writers in the first place. Being sucked into characters' lives and immersed in these other worlds other than the one that we have here on this earth can really just be a great way to get re-inspired to write again. And my third tip for falling back in love with writing is remembering why you started and also reflecting on how far you've come. I mean, that's exactly what that clip was at the beginning of this video, where I'm just sitting back here and I'm looking at my bookshelves at all the books I've written, whether it's reviewing old drafts if you've written, if you don't have anything published yet, or reading old journal entries, flipping through your books if you do have books published. And for me personally, something I love to do is go back and watch my old BookCon vlogs and my book tour vlog. The present can really start to feel like it's same old, but when I do take the time to look back, it reminds me of how blessed I am to be exactly where I am right now, and also how hard I worked to get here. I mean, if your own journey doesn't inspire you, I don't know what to tell you except that you're doing it wrong. So that is it for today's video. I hope that these tips help you fall back in love with your life, with writing, with creativity, with projects, with whatever it is you're struggling with. I hope that you can take at least one of these tips and implement them into your life to get back to you, to get back to being joyful and happy and loving life again. If you enjoyed this video, please consider giving it a thumbs up to support my channel. And don't forget to click that subscribe button as well as that little bell that will send you email notifications to your inbox whenever I upload new videos. As always, thank you so much for watching. I appreciate you more than you know, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.